And we're live. Welcome to a recap podcast. We are here. The Team Tank is in full force again. The winning streak is over. Things don't look as dire. All right, you guys be honest. 3-game winning streak. Russell Westbrook had a dent in his face. It looked pretty scary heading into this game, right?
Yeah, it was just like, we looked okay like going into the fourth quarter against Utah, pulled that game out somehow. And then it was the same thing with Milwaukee, and then Ellington gets hot and we just start making all these plays, and it's like, so two games that it looked like we were going to lose, managed to pull them out. And then, you flip over after the Bucks win to the Thunder game, and Westbrook gets kicked in the head or whatever, and it's just like it seemed like everything was falling in line for like a long losing streak in our eyes. So yeah, it was just ridiculous. But luckily, Oklahoma City's pretty deep now after they made some trades, and yeah, they were just too much.
And I mean, again, like we keep harping on this, but it's worth noting because Oklahoma City was able to rebuild through the draft, they were able to, stockpile all these young players who can step in if need be, and they were able to be flexible and make moves to pick up a DJ Augustine in case Russell Westbrook comes in or gets hurt. And that's vital to building a sustainable franchise moving forward. Unfortunately, Gary and I were not able to watch the game today. Ryan was in charge of the tweets for Team Tank, and he was paying close attention throughout to everybody, and performed a great uh, reverse jinx on Wayne Ellington, saying how great a player he was. So Ryan, what were your takeaways from the game?
Well, first off, you should be fortunate that you didn't get to watch this game. Anytime you get a chance to pass on a Lakers game, it's a good thing. But I mean, like Gary said, is coming to this game, I thought like, oh, Westbrook's out, Durant's out, Steve Novak's out. It's like anything that could have gone wrong did go wrong for like injury wise. But as you said, like the Thunder have good depth, and like you were saying how the you get pieces through the draft. It's like Jeremy Lamb, who rarely plays for them, came in and scored 14 points in 60 minutes. And honestly, like, he probably starred for us. So it's like the depth that they had was is really good. But in terms of the game, I'm glad that we got off to a slow start. Like I think we were down like 20-9 to start the game or something. So it was like kind of relaxing because if we would have gotten out to a fast start, it'd been like, oh, here comes another win, which I thought we were going to win anyway, but because like the fourth quarter we cut it to like 6 or 8. It looked like it was going to be like one of those Bucks, like the Bucks or the Jazz game, and then luckily Lynn airballed a three and didn't. He had a good game, but he kind of struggled in the fourth quarter a little bit. Our defense was non-existent all game. Jordan Hill looked like he didn't want any part of Ibaka or any of their centers. Um, but yeah, we got the loss, which is important. It's unfortunate that Orlando and the Sixers and the Nuggets all lost tonight, though. But it doesn't. At this point, we just got to keep losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
was. I mean, I was able to tune in a little bit in the fourth quarter there for a bit. It This whole trend of playing Lynn in the fourth quarter, unless it's not close, is so maddening, right? Like finally Clarkson comes in for the last 3 minutes of a game, except they're already down by 11. Like it doesn't matter at that point. Those minutes, those reps mean less than if it were in a close game. And again, we're trying to develop a future. That's why the frustration kicks in when you don't see a Tarek Black out there when he's being sat, why for a Carlos Boozer or a Jordan Hill or an Ed Davis, and maybe one of those three might be back next year. Um, you mentioned Jordan Hill. He did have he had 12 rebounds today, which finally he's getting a little bit more active on the glass. But there was a pretty epic block that Serge I blocked you had on him. What are your thoughts on that, Ryan?
Well, first of all, I can almost see why Hill has started to float around the perimeter a little bit more. But I mean, Ibaka is one of those guys you don't want to challenge at the rim, and I guess Hill thought it would be a good idea, and obviously it wasn't.
Yeah, it's he refuses to challenge, like, I don't know, think of stiff white 7-footer that he refuses to challenge, and then, all right, this is the game. I'm gonna go after the rim, and then fall.
Well, the funniest part about it was like Ibaka like absolutely like destroyed him. Like Hill's like on the ground, and then Ibaka just like walks over the crowd and like starts pointing at him.
That was great. I wish he would have done the finger wag. Like,
That's what a lot of people were saying. It would have been perfect.
that'd have been great. So Gary, what are your what are you looking ahead to this week for the Lakers? What's their schedule looking like? What are other team schedules like? What are you thinking?
Well, the good news for us is that we're going on the road. Because I mean, I don't know what our home and road record is this year, but it seems like we're more competitive at home. But yeah, going on the road. Our next game is Tuesday at Charlotte, and they just won today against Orlando. So I mean, they're playing decent. They should beat us. I mean, honestly, especially in Charlotte. Plus, they might want to, get a little revenge because we were there, or they were our first win of the year. We were 0-5, and then we beat them. So, but Minnesota plays the Clippers tomorrow. The Clippers played today, so they'll be on the second night of a back-to-back. The Sixers play at home against the Raptors, so I'm not really counting on much in that game. But there's some decent matchups coming up. Wednesday, the Wolves play the Nuggets at home, so that's kind of a win-win for us because the Nuggets are slowly creeping up on us in the standings. So it seems like they're never going to win. But if we lose at Charlotte and then at Miami, which I mean those two games would be huge.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, again, heading into tonight, the straits were dire. I mean, it looked ugly. I mean, Russell Westbrook going down, and then other teams playing some tougher teams going ahead in this week's schedule. So, fortunately, it looks like things might set themselves aside. Plus, there was a report that the Philadelphia. They actually looked ahead at the Lakers' schedule. They did their metrics, they did their analytics, they did all their fancy nerd stats, and predicted that the Lakers would win more coming down the stretch. So you get that information, plus recent history and all that. And yeah, tonight was a huge loss, huge. What would you mentioned Clarkson in passing, Ryan? He played 34 minutes tonight, which was nice to see. What all did you see from him?
I didn't really think he had a good game. He had a couple threes. He tried getting to the rim a few times, but he wasn't finishing that well. He had a nice layup. I think it was before the buzzer, I think it was the first quarter, and he had a buzzer-beating layup where he kind of went coast to coast, and that was good to see. But it definitely wasn't one of his better games, and it sucks because I really wanted to see him match up with Westbrook.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that you mentioned that it wasn't one of his stronger games, and tonight is the night that he finally gets all the minutes. Whereas like he's been playing really really well, and then gets sat for like the whole fourth quarter and doesn't get the minutes. Maybe Byron is low-key tanking. I doubt it. I doubt it by a lot, but just maybe.
I used to think that until these last three games. He was playing, like he would stick with the hot hand, whether it was Lynn or Boozer, whoever, would finish games, and the emphasis on playing the younger guys kind of went out the window there for a little while.
It really did. A bit of not quite breaking news. It's been out there for a couple hours now. But JaVale McGee is now available via waivers. I'm not going to do the whole future Laker thing. That's why this podcast was founded, to stop Laker fans from thinking that. But I do want to think of a fun hypothetical of JaVale McGee and Nick Young running a pick and roll. Gary, how do you think that plays out?
Well, you'd have JaVale set the pick. He'd roll to the basket, probably be wide open. Both defenders are on Nick Young, and he takes a step back three and misses.
All right, Ryan. What's another possibility for how a pick and roll between Nick Young and JaVale McGee plays out?
Um, JaVale sets the screen. Nick Young comes off the screen, except JaVale McGee runs the wrong direction. So he runs like towards the other team's hoop instead of towards our hoop. And then, as Gary said, Nick Young settles for a step back jumper and bricks it.
All right. So for my hypothetical situation here, I'm going to go ahead and say that they actually forget their positions, and JaVale McGee is a dribbler. Nick Young sets the screen. JaVale turns the corner and is about to, is wide open for a slam dunk, and then decides, you know what, now's a good time to practice my behind the back passes, and throws something into the stands that, creates all kinds of havoc. That would be fun. He won't get picked up by the Lakers. We all know that, there's no point, but
Well, we thought that with Boozer too. So.
Oh, with Boozer, I actually thought they'd pick him up.
Oh, really? I was so shocked when they did that.
I thought it made no sense, but I don't feel like getting into that because it just makes me sad.
I think the only way Nick Young and JaVale McGee pick and roll actually results in a made basket is if Nick Young takes a step back jumper and JaVale just gets a putback dunk.
The whole Boozer thing, like as it was playing out, like at this point with the Lakers, I'm so convinced that they're just a terribly run organization that I just predicted the worst. Plus, for a while there, Darius kept on tweeting out things that he just couldn't have happen, and they kept on playing out exactly how he just couldn't have them happen. Please don't hire Byron Scott. They hired Byron Scott. Please don't do this. They did that. Please don't bring in Boozer. They brought in Boozer. So for a while there, Darius was doing all my predicting for me.
It's the same reason why I think we're going to sign Rondo in the offseason. I just think that the front office isn't obsessed with having named players. Like, oh look, we picked up Boozer, we got Kobe, oh we have Rondo, but it's like all those players are past their primes.
Yeah, we're finding out more and more that they just really suck at their jobs potentially. So that's unfortunate. All right, so I guess the last thing moving forward here, previewing the rest of the week, we have Jamison Welsh coming on tomorrow. We also have a bingo night that Ryan is going to be in charge of. Ryan threw that out there yesterday. I've gotten a couple bingo requests to my personal page. I haven't really been around to check the Team Tank page to see how that's been going. Ryan, what's your number one thing to look for this weekend? Big, who do you think actually does get JaVale?
I kind of want to say a team like the Mavericks or something, because they traded away Brandon Wright, and Tyson Chandler has been kind of injured, and they need a rim protector. But I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't want Mickey at all. So it's for me, I don't see anyone rushing to pick him up. I mean, maybe someone will sign him to a 10-day and give him take him on as a flyer, but I don't think there'll be that much interest in him. But I mean, this is the NBA, you never know.
Then the other thing I meant to do, and I hate to do this because this is going to be the snark and smuggiest we'll ever see Ryan, but Ryan, I'll go ahead and give you a minute to gloat about your Arizona Wildcats winning another Pac-12 title.
Yeah, we made it 2 in a row. Going to get a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, beat Duke, and hopefully Duke's in our. They won't be in our bracket, but hopefully we can knock out Duke's. I hate them. Hopefully we can knock out Gary's North Carolina. Actually, you guys are both North Carolina fans, so hopefully you guys are in our bracket.
I immediately regret that decision. That was stupid on my part.
My two teams could possibly be in the tournament with North Carolina and then Boise State. We won at San Diego State the other day, and that was a huge win. I guess that put us in, according to Joe Lunardi, and that actually put us number 1 in the Mountain West too. So we lost one of our best players earlier in the year, Anthony Dremick, and he's one of our best scorers, and we've been really, 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 really good without him. So it's kind of a surprise, but It'd be nice to see Boise State get back in the tournament, and they've actually never won a tournament game, so that's like kind of the next step.
Did you just talk about Boise on a Lakers podcast?
Yes, I did.
Huh.
What's Boise?
Yeah, like is that like which country is Boise in?
It's in Latvia, I think.
It's like Serbia and Monza Boise.
But anyway,
we own Arizona.
what's Arizona and Lakers related is Stanley Johnson's performance yesterday was, I mean, it was pretty terrible. He was 3 of 19 from the field, but I mean, even so, like he still got 11 rebounds and 2 steals. Like, and the thing that like he got benched because he failed to close out on a shooter or something, and like people were tweeting me like, oh, he's not a good defender. I don't want him, and it's like. They probably watched that one play. That was probably the first game they watched and saw that he got pulled because he didn't make one play. It's like for the whole season he's been a great defender.
If anything, that makes me like him even more. I mean, you look at a player who doesn't produce as a scorer. Let's look at like Nick Young, right? When he doesn't score, what does he bring to the table? Not a damn thing.
Just
right?
annoying noise.
Right, like he doesn't do anything, and he'll give some crappy, post-game interview. Kobe in that Game 7 against Boston, his shot was way off. Right, he was 6 for 24.
He still rebounded.
Right, and but to make up for that, he grabbed his, I think it was 16 rebounds or some crazy number. To make up for that, yeah, if Stanley Johnson if his shot is off and he decides, all right, fine, I'm going to go help this team through rebounding. I'm all in with him. Please keep the pick.
Another thing that was good was when he got benched. He wasn't pouting or anything. He was supporting his teammates and encouraging them, and that was good to see.
Yeah. So all right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and this was a really short podcast. Seeing as it was a pretty standard night. The Lakers got back to their losing ways. Nothing really crazy happened around the league. We have a big week planned ahead. We're gonna have that bingo night. I swear, we keep teasing it. We aren't that. We're good in the business, but that's pretty crazy. We're not good in the business. We also have, we have a couple guests lined up. So yeah, stay tuned. Tomorrow evening, we'll come on back here. And thanks, Gary and Ryan, for coming on tonight.
Thanks.